நான் லைவ் போயிட்டேன்ப்பா. Check, check, check. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Check, check. Check. Bala, check.
Yes, sir. I can hear you, sir.
Yes, Bala. So all said, Bala, like like it's going YouTube live. I'll once it is actually on, you can put on this thing. It's going on.
Sure, sir. We need to check with Murli, sir,
Yeah,
before that, sir.
you check this now. You check. We'll admit everyone at 9:50. Sir ko phone பண்ணுங்க. Sir ko phone பண்ணுங்க. Bala?
Sir is ready, sir. We need to connect him, sir.
உள்ள விடுங்க. Sir விடுங்க. செக் பண்ணிக்கலாம்.
Okay, sir. அப்ப கால் பண்ணி வர சொல்லிடுறேன், sir.
Yes. He has to check. நான் ஷேர்லாம் பண்ணி பார்க்கணும். Check everything. பாலா அந்த இது நான் அனுப்பிச்சு விடுறேன் பாலா வாட்ஸ்அப் அது ஷேர் ஆகுதான்னு பாருங்க.
Sure, sir.
நான் லைவ் போயிட்டேன் பாருங்க. Check. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Check. Bala, check.
Yes, sir. I can hear you, sir. Am I audible, sir?
Yes.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, Bala. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes, sir.
Sir வந்தாருன்னா மட்டும் எந்த ஐடியில வராங்கன்னு சொல்லுங்க பாலா. I request everyone to switch on the cameras ன்னு சொல்லிடுங்க. பாலா. கபில்
லாகின் பண்ணலாம் சார். வாங்க சார். என்ன நேம்ல சார் வருவீங்க?
எதுங்க? என்னோடது பெர்ஸ்பெக்டிவ் ஃபவுண்டேஷன் வந்து
நேம் என்ன? உங்க நேம் தான் வருது. சரிங்க சார். பல ஏதோ ஒண்ணு மேல லைன் இருக்கு பல. நோ இட்ஸ் ஓகே. பல நம்ம ஃபோக்கஸ் பண்ணிக்கோங்க பல. பல ஃபோக்கஸ். பல கபிலன் என்னாருன்னு கேளுங்க. கபிலன். பல நான் ஷேர் பண்றேன் பல உங்களுக்கு வாட்ஸ்அப்ப. சரி சார்.
யூடியூப் ஆன்ல வருதான்னு பாருங்க. அதை மியூட் பண்ணிக்கோங்க, ஆன்ல வைக்காதீங்க. பல அந்த இதை மட்டும் ஷேர் பண்றீங்களா பலா? அந்த போஸ்டரா
எதுல சார்?
க்ளோஸ் பண்ணிடுங்க. ஒரு மீட்டிங் நடக்குது.
வாங்க சார். நீங்க வாங்க சார்.
பல அந்த இதை செக் பண்ணுங்க பல யூடியூப் வீடியோ. யூடியூப் வீடியோ கரெக்டா செக் ஆகுதான்னு பாருங்க பல. நீங்க சார் செக் பண்ணிட்டு இருங்க பாலா. நான் ஒரு 2 seconds I'll be back.
சார் என்ன அப்படியே ஹோஸ்டா மாத்தி விட்டுருங்க சார்.
Sir, host permissions
இருக்கா?
மாத்தி விடுங்க
Focused
சார்.
இருக்கா? எந்த focused இருக்கா?
இருக்குங்க சார்.
கேக்குதா? பாலா
கேக்குது. கேக்குது.
focused இருக்கா? கரெக்டா இருக்கா? சார்
Correct,
வந்து ஷேர் பண்ணி பாத்துடலாம்.
அதாங்க சார் லாகின் பண்ணிட்டு இருப்பாருன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். உங்களுக்கு வந்துச்சுன்னா அக்செப்ட் பண்ணிருங்க சார்.
எஸ். பாலா எல்லாத்துக்கும் மெசேஜ் போட்டு விடுங்க பாலா அதுல. பாலா ஐஏ ட்ரிச்சிலே போட்டுருங்க பாலா அந்த இதை.
சார் யூடியூப் லிங்க் வந்து எல்லா குரூப்லயும் ஷேர் பண்றதா?
அந்த இப்ப பண்ணாதீங்க, அப்புறம் வரமாட்டானுங்க யாரும். Just wait for 10 seconds. ஆரம்பிச்சோன்னு பண்ணுங்க.
ஒன் ஸ்டார்ட் ஆன
ஆரம்பிச்சோன்னு பண்ணிடுங்க. கபிலன் எங்கப்பா? He is the moderator.
சார் இங்க இருக்கேன். ஹலோ.
ஓ கபிலன் ரெடியா? செக் பண்ணிக்கோங்க கபிலன். செக்.
Can you hear me?
வீடியோ செக் பண்ணிக்கோங்க.
ஒரு நிமிஷம்.
ஹாய் குட் மார்னிங். கொஞ்சம் தலை இதா இருக்கு. தலை உங்களுக்கு சரியா வர மாதிரி வைங்க. ரைட். பேக்ரவுண்ட் கொஞ்சம் செக் பண்ணிக்கோங்க. ரைட்ல கொண்டு வாங்க. இப்படி ஸ்ட்ரைட் ஆக்கிக்கோங்க கபிலன். யா. சார் வந்துட்டாங்களாப்பா உள்ள? Pingala Sri, put on your cameras. இது ஷேர் ஆயிட்டு இருக்கா பாலா?
எஸ் சார் ஷேர் ஆயிட்டு இருக்கு.
கார்த்திக் உங்களை செக் ஆடியோ. கார்த்திக் செக் யுவர் ஆடியோ. பேசுங்க கார்த்தி பேசுங்க. கார்த்தி பேசுங்க. கார்த்தி கேன் யூ ஹியர் மீ? உங்க ஆடியோ செக் பண்ணுங்க. மியூட் ஆயிருக்கு கார்த்தி. இல்லாட்டி ரீ இது பண்ணுங்க.
Morning, Chairman. Can you hear me?
Good morning. I can hear you now.
Oh, okay. Now I got you. Okay.
Yeah. ஸ்பீக்கர் வந்துட்டாங்களாப்பா? Chakrabani, how are you, Chakrabani?
Hi, sir.
Hi,
Fine, sir.
Chakrabani.
How about you, sir?
I am fine, doing well. I am hearing that you are doing really well. Huh?
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Happy, congratulations. Welcome, Jasmine, ma'am.
Well, good morning, sir. Chairman,
Good.
sir.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning. How are you, ma'am?
Fine, sir. Fine, sir.
Welcome, the head of the department of Periyar Maniam University.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Madhu, put on your cameras, Madhu. Good morning, Madhu. Madhu, check பண்ணிக்கலாம் Madhu. Audio. Audio. Mute ல இருக்கு. Yes, Madhu.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
sir.
Good morning. Good morning. Sir, வந்துட்டாரம்மா? Sai, good morning, Sai. Put on your camera, Sai. நான் 10 ஆயிடுச்சுமா? பாலா?
சார் சார்கிட்ட பேசிட்டு இருக்கேன் சார். சார் இந்த செக் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காங்க, வந்துருவாங்க சார்.
பாலா? சிலரு லாகின் பண்ண முடியலன்றாங்க. நீங்க உங்களுக்கு ஜூமோட அந்த லிங்க் மட்டும் ஸ்டாப் நானே கொடுக்குறேன். அந்த இது மட்டும் கொடுத்துருங்க. Jalal, good morning. Small glitches for the speaker. We are waiting for the speakers. We apologize for the delay. Kindly bear it with us.
Join all right. Okay. Okay, thank you. Can you hear
Morning,
me?
sir.
Good morning. Sorry about the technical this. Okay.
No problem, sir. We can hear you fine.
Yeah.
So we'll begin.
Yeah.
So very happy morning to all, and thank you for registering and
Sharing has to be
at-
stopped.
thank you for registering at such short notice. And I see the enthusiasm in all the participants on occasion of the World Architecture Day. So without much further ado, on behalf of IEA Trichy Center and on this occasion of World Architecture Day, I welcome you all for this morning virtual meet with architect Murali Murugan of Murali Architects for his talk on architecture for all. I hope that we will have a very interactive session, and by the end of the session, we will go back inspired to our work. Without much further ado, I also invite architect G. Raja to deliver the welcome address.
Good morning, everyone. Dear past chairman of IEA, office bearers of IEA, members of various chapters, centers, and sub-centers, architects from across the world, students, architecture enthusiasts, ladies and gentlemen. On the occasion of World Architecture Day, a warm welcome to all of you on behalf of our online meeting on the compelling and essential topic, architecture for all. I thank our distinguished speaker of today, Architect Murali Murugan sir, for accepting our invitation to deliver a speech on this special day. I'm sure his vision and lecture will help us enhance the idea of architecture for all. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Today, we celebrate World Architecture Day, a day to appreciate the art and science of building design and its impact on our lives. Architecture is all around us. It shapes the places we live, work, learn, and play. It can inspire us, uplift us, and even heal us. But architecture is more than just bricks and mortar. It is a reflection of our culture, our values, and our aspirations. It is a way to express ourselves and to connect with the world around us. This year's theme for Architecture Day is Architecture for Resilient Communities. This theme is particularly important in light of the many challenges that our communities are facing today, from climate change to natural disasters to economic inequality. Architecture can play a vital role in helping our communities to become more resilient by designing buildings and communities that are sustainable, equitable, and inclusive. Architects can help to create places where everyone can thrive. Today, we are also celebrating the birthday of our father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhiji. Gandhiji believed that architecture should be simple, functional, and sustainable. He also believed that it should be accessible to all the people, regardless of their social status or economic background. Gandhiji's principles of simplicity, functionality, and sustainability are more relevant than ever today. In a world that is facing climate change, resource scarcity, and growing inequality, we need to design buildings and communities that are mindful of their environmental impact and support the well-being of all the people. One way to honor Gandhiji's legacy on World Architecture Day is to support architects and designers who are working to create more sustainable, equitable, and inclusive communities. We can also do our part by making choices about our own homes, lifestyles that are environmentally friendly and socially responsible. Our distinguished speaker, Architect Murali Murugan, and participants bring a wealth of knowledge and expertise to this virtual gathering. Together, we aim to inspire, inform, and engage in meaningful conversations that can shape the future of architecture. I encourage you all to actively participate, ask questions, share your insights, and collaborate with your fellow attendees. Let's harness the collective wisdom of diverse group to ignite ideas, challenge norms, and champion the cause of architecture for all. Thank you for being part of this important discussion. I'm confident that our exchange today will not only enlighten, but also serve as a catalyst for positive change in the field of architecture. Let's embark on this journey together to create a more inclusive and equitable built environment for all. Thank you all.
Thank you, Chairman Architect Raja. Now I invite Architect Balahari Krishna, EC member of the IIA Trichy team, to introduce our speaker to the gathering.
A very good morning to all. It's my pleasure to introduce the speaker for the day, Architect Murli Murugan sir. Architect Murli Murugan, the principal architect of Murli Architects, a leading architecture firm in Chennai, which has set up in the year 1990. He graduated his bachelor's in architecture from School of Architecture and Planning, Anna University, and his master's at McGill University, Canada. He has dedicated 30 plus years of his career on deliberating through his design philosophy that focuses on uniting people through architecture. Murli Architects creates a versatile body of work ranging from architecture and interiors of various typologies such as residences, corporate offices, institutional, retail, and hospitality buildings. The firm explores with design solutions that are contextual, creating unique typologies of spaces that revolutionize the way they are experienced, and this manifests the essence of the firm's design philosophy. To list few of his recognitions and achievements: excellence in residential architectural design in the year 2015, presented by the Chief Guest, Honorable Governor of Tamil Nadu, Dr. K.S. Rosaya at Kattumana Tolil Awards. National level for excellence in architecture under the commercial category of Indian Institute of Architects in the year 2016 for the project Highway Restaurant, the Manoj Bhavan. And they won the Indian Institute of Interior Designers in the year 2018 Zonal Winners Award for the design of Hearing Aid Center at Chennai. Selected by the Indian Institute of Architects as the Honorable Member for Services rendered for the Indian Institute of Architects Tamil Nadu chapter in the year 2016. One of the most prestigious projects of this firm is the memorial for late former Chief Minister Selvi, Dr. J. Jayalalitha, which has won the All India Design Competition conducted by the Tamil Nadu government. Besides his practice, he also served as a visiting faculty at some of the leading institutions in Tamil Nadu and sharing his knowledge and expertise. He has written more than 60 articles in the Hindu newspaper regarding architecture and interiors. Without much delay, I welcome Architect Murli Murugan to have the stage.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you all. Yeah. So can I share the screen now or?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Chairman Raja, for the kind invite, and also all the members of our beloved IIA Trichy Center, and my dear students who are participating, and also parents and other architects from various parts of the country. First of all, a very warm welcome to one and all, and I'm happy to share this Architecture Day with all of you. It gives me immense happiness, and I'm proud to share some of my thoughts. I encourage all of you to kindly later on participate in a discussion so that we can explore how architecture of Tamil Nadu can improve. Okay. So in the I belong to Erode, a very small town in Tamil Nadu, and from a village, I would say from Govichettipalem. And my journey with architecture is about 40 years. But all these years, my rural background and my Tamil background makes me look at architecture in a Tamilian way. I feel architecture in our part, it was very different than whatever we are practicing today. I feel many of the traditional values have been slowly eroded or getting lost in the pace of time or in the pace of new lifestyles which are emerging. I feel we need to relook at what our elders have taught us over 500,000 years of our wonderful civilization. Our civilization goes back to Kiladi, and we take a lot of pride in talking about our Cholas and Pandyas and Cheras. But today I feel architecture is at a crossroad. We are doing exceptionally well in terms of technology, in terms of modern usage of material, in terms of new space exploration, etc. But I feel little more thought can be given to our traditional values and traditional thoughts. So today's my lecture is going to be about that, and it's also going to be about how society can transform new architecture. Instead of clients coming to us with, sir, I want to do a 4-bedroom house. If there is any other new way wherein the clients themselves can become, the people themselves can become the project leaders, and we become a facilitator. So that approach also may be relevant in the coming years. So my thoughts are also going to be along those lines. So there is a renowned architect, I.M. Pai, says architecture is a mirror of life. Okay, architecture reflects life. And we as architects, we are all always proud, take pride in connecting the family, all the members, and giving them a very happy living place. That's what all of us are, all every day working towards. So I thought in the architecture journey is so wonderful, but also we also need to look at where the society is heading to. In the recent times, we keep hearing a lot of problems in family structure, children getting disturbed, they are getting pressurized, they are unable to share the thoughts. As a result, they indulge in unwanted things. So as a result of this, the wonderful family structure that we had is slowly getting modified and getting into problems. So we'll also talk about that today. So I'm a old timer, I'm about 64. So my thoughts for always for my mother, my father, my elders. I'm sure many of the youngsters who are participating in this seminar also will have that feel. One is Tata Party. Why Tata Parties are feeling lonely? Why they don't come to Chennai or Madurai or Tiruchi? They don't stay much longer. Even if they come, they'll say, I have to go. There is some other work there. They come lovingly, prepare for 10 days, 20 days, making sweets for the grandchildren and for you and all that. Come with a lot of love and care. And then after landing, in a day or so, they will say, "En ticket vaangiduppa, na oorukku ponom." So, after so many months of planning, they've come. And why would they leave so soon? Similarly, the children, most of the time they stay in the room, or they kind of get into cell phone culture or the TV culture and all that. And if you look at the village lifestyle and our lifestyles, there is hardly any connect between the neighbor and us. There is hardly, in the earlier days, we used to at least share the Diwali sweets or Christmas sweets or Ramzan biryanis. But nowadays, even that is getting slowly eroded. It is not happening. And why our relatives, cousins, they don't come and stay with us for a very long time. So I feel there is something wrong with the way either culturally it has changed or architecturally it is not doing much to facilitate our happy living. So what are the pitfalls and why that's happening? Recently, we had a very, very sad thing. One of the good person who loved to work for our Tamil society lost his beloved daughter. So it shows it's a pointer to there is something not correct in the way we are living. But if you look at the earlier years, you see the beautiful thing. They may not be very rich. They had a courtyard, and around the courtyard, everything was happening. The kids were playing, and the grandma was, drying the grains, and mother was working, and everybody used to sit around the Talvaram and have an eye interact continuously. Even if somebody comes from outside, they will start sharing. The entry itself, the sharing takes place, and they go freshen up, again come back and elaborate. So it becomes a big platform or central stage wherein all of us can come together. So this is what we were living. And you look at the happy couple on the street, their house may be 700 square feet. Now we have 2,000 square feet houses, 1,500 flat, and 4,000 square feet houses and all that. But the joy that you see in the elders, the grandparents who are sitting on the road, literally on the road, in a small platform, which may be about 5 feet by 8 feet, the contentedness, the morning they're reading the newspaper and he has already taken the bath. Party Amma is reading the paper, at the same time having a chat with the neighbors or whoever coming in the street. So there is a connect. The family is never, it's part of a good neighborhood, and the good relationship is always with everyone on the street, neighbors, and the children also can kind of play literally in the street under the eyes of the elders, and they can also have monitor what is happening inside. They will have 1 year will be inside the house, another will be on the street engaging with the people. Now, this is the kind of thing that, I'm very proud that, Tiruchi still retains many of these cultural identities, cultural spaces, a beautiful expression of our elders. So unfortunately in Chennai, it's not at all there. I would say for sure it is gone, vanished. Now this elderly person, he can come out and have a long session with others, share everybody's family's problems, issues, and get happiness out of this. Now, these types of things are slowly getting modified. Now, earlier years, we used to play in the street. There is no big park or anything, but the street itself became a park. Street itself becomes a playground. Street itself becomes a social gathering space. And the elders will sit in the easy chair outside or in the thinai outside, and the children will play under the watchful eyes. So the street was a big area. It's a stage where a lot of things can happen. And again, the courtyard becomes a social, cultural event. Children can exhibit the talents, and elders can be around. This is one of the important pictures I thought I should share. I think everybody needs some time to look at the picture. Picture on the left shows a kitchen. You see all 3 or 4 generations are together. I don't know what happened to that space in today's architecture. The kitchen becomes a tiny little space, 5 feet, 6 feet by 8 feet, or 6 feet by 10 feet. And there is no place for the elder. Only the girl of the house, she takes over. And the children, if they go, mommy will say, amma will say, no, go to the living room, do the homework there. And the children, with unhappiness, it will go. It wants to hang out with the amma and have the smell of the sari. We all remember how our grandma's saris used to smell, mother's saris used to, we always cling to them. That kind of love is slowly not there. Now in this picture, left side, the grandma is guiding amma how to cook, and the daughter, she's listening to the stories of the elders and also having an eye on how the cooking is done. And the grandchildren, great-grandchildren are coming and, being with the family. That picture on the top right, amma is cooking, but she's showing the love. The boy is reading and he has got some doubts. With the love and affection, it is not a, photography kind of photograph. It was a candid shot. And the father is teaching the daughter, and the cart is there in the kitchen itself. It's a wonderful typology. I don't know why we are not adopting to that. Okay, I want to raise certain young architects are there, students of architecture are there. I want to, kind of provoke in a mild, friendly manner. I want to provoke why we have, given up this kind of a thing. And below also, all these 3-4 pictures show enormous love and sharing among all the members. And again, there will be a tree in most of our neighborhoods. There will be a tree, and all the sons, daughters will be hanging out there. Amma will come out and say, hey, come and have coffee and go. At least have coffee and go. Idiot, whatever she will say. So, and everybody knows, Amma knows all the friends. If the friends also, if they want water, they'll go, auntie, give me water. So they bring the water and again play. So that kind of a very unified, a larger family. The whole neighborhood was like a family, and we were a lot of sharing was happening. So again, thin ice of different kind. So these are some of the picture where we tried in some of our project, and we found it was working out. It's a house in Tirupur, quiet neighborhood, and elders would like to be hanging out and seeing the things, and children also were playing. And some of the houses we are adopting similar concept in Chennai. Again, grand steps in the manner of Thinnai, and they also faster evening time, 3-4 houses, ladies, they come. And what we try and do is the car park on the bottom, right? So the whole car park for 2 or 3 cars, we remove the cars. So that area becomes a play space for the children. So all the mothers, they bring the children and they sit in the steps, chat, and the children can play in the car shed. So we can create multi-purpose spaces. Even the picture on the left is a large car park area in the front of a house. The whole area, what we have done is made it as like a beautiful inner courtyard of a house, paved beautifully. And again, the cars can be taken out and the children can be playing. And if you look at this from the kitchen, the whole, she can see the whole, you can see the cone of the vision, see all the way up to the gate, and whatever is happening in the play area or the car park, mother can have an eye. So mother is so important. Wherever she is in the kitchen, she wants to control. So from here also, she can see who is opening the wicket gate and who is walking towards into the house. So I feel the traditional houses, if you look at the earlier houses from kitchen, they can lean towards the courtyard and see the whole entry through the series of courtyards. So that way, the mother or the grandparents will like to have an, what is happening in the street, also who is coming and standing in that gate area, they will like to know. So the picture on the right shows courtyards can be done in a very interesting manner, in a level play kind of a thing. So you can create multi-level and create courtyards. This is what I was saying. So from the kitchen, you can see who is there in the front side on the picture on the left. So mother is the CEO of the house, and she wants to run her business properly. And the picture on the right shows a courtyard at the second floor level, where all 3 bedrooms are located. Father and 2 sons bedrooms are located. And there's a thinai. There are steps which can be also used as a seating area. And there is a garden. So every evening or morning, parents can meet here. The children can come out and interact. Even the cousins, when they come out, the connection is made. In the same house, what we have done is created a teen space, which is on the floating above the play area of the car parking. So the children can see which friend is coming. They can call them, please come up. So they will come now without going to the house. They will come up and use the youth space. And the youth space is kind of like a Kund or Charles Correa, beloved Charles Correa, great Charles Correa, who taught us how Kund from the traditional temples can be used in residential and public institutions. So now, since teen spaces are not given, the teen gets to meet friends. So they use the mall as a place to go. So the mall is not a very, I would say, productive space where they get distracted, they indulge in all kinds of funny things. So if the teens are taken care at the house level itself, at the street level itself, they will be part of the family. This kind of disconnect will not happen. What we saw in Vijay Sar's thing, I think primarily loneliness and not sharing their mind with others led to that bad result. Now the Kund space, also elders can come. The picture on the right shows Appa is coming and dropping, and Amma also meeting the cousins who have come, who are meeting the sons. So these type of interactive spaces for the teens or the young people will really make them. Similarly, they can also, the teen can also look into the house, what is happening. On the other side, they can look into the streets, what's happening. It's kind of almost floating in the air. So the children are getting connected to the street, also connected to the inner portion of the complex equations of the family. Father may be shouting with mother, and they need to hear that, so that somebody will go and understand the problem and solve the problem, or in fact, it becomes a teaching lesson for them in the future life. So if they are protected, well protected in the closed rooms, they won't see the reality, and thereby they are not learning our culture continuously. Now, this is a small house we have done in Balakrishnan's residence, our Bala's name sake. So it is in near Bhavani, a small town. And the street, again, we wanted to kind of make the street as a play space for the children. And the Thinnai outside, the grandpa can bring his water bottle or the newspaper, hang out outside, have an eye on the children, and also understand the new generation's thinking. The problem that I'm facing today is old people are not getting connected to the new generation, thereby difference of opinions, arguments, and getting themselves isolated. Similarly, children don't feel like talking to grandparents. So there is a gap, huge gap between the children, elders, and also the parents. So somehow we need to bridge them. So some of the projects where the steps itself becomes a celebrated thing with the greenery and the seater for everybody in the neighborhood. Many children can come in this house. There's a large car park, so that becomes a play area. So whenever a Sunday is there, the children can come and hang out in front of the house without calling, using the calling bell. They will hang out, play. The house boy can come, house girl can come and join them. So again, a series of similar kind of attempt in some of the projects. And the house in Tanjavur, what we felt was, again, the car park can be used as a multi-purpose space in places like Tanjavur, Tiruchi. A lot of meetups will happen, weekend curry virindu or Christmas party, or so many things will be happening. So the outside car park, instead of just being a car park, it can become a gathering for all the relatives. So built a lot of seater around them to continue the tradition. So inside also we have made similar attempt. A stair is a wonderful place where all of us can be united. So the mid landing of the stair will have some gathering spaces. Even the starting of the staircase, when somebody is hanging out there, a grandpa is sitting there and the young boy wants to go up, he has to say at least, how are you, Tata? Irmal eppadi irukke? Nalla irukingla? So there will be some conversation happening, and it will lead to a good relationship. Another thing is kitchen. So many of the times the kitchen became an isolated one, and mummy is all the time looking at the blank wall, and she is getting into depression. Many of the the problem that we are seeing in Chennai and places like that, husband goes to factory at 7:30, children go to school at 8:15. They all come back at 6 onwards. From 8:30 to nearly 5, 6, the mom is all alone. So she develops a lot of mind-related issues. She goes for a trip, and she feels if somebody has uttered some negative things in the morning, the boy or girl before going to the school, that keeps on lingering with them. Maybe they are not liking me, or maybe my husband is not taking care of me. So what we felt was, there is a courtyard next to the kitchen. So she can come out and use the kitchen for RC Porukarandake. Maybe a grandma is there. Both of them can share. And in the mornings, if somebody wants a coffee, the coffee doesn't go to the room. So in this case, the coffee is served through the counter. There's a counter. I will show this. Sorry. In the plan, I will show. Yeah. So this is the kitchen window, and the coffee is served through a counter, and whoever wants coffee, they have to come here and hang out, have a chat with the grandma or mother. So the coffee comes, and somebody wants to play a guitar, they can play, or somebody wants to read a thing, or somebody wants to use the laptop. So that becomes an important area where everybody coming together. Yeah, so the kitchen is located, and near to that is the courtyard. Surrounding is the bedroom. Yeah. Yeah. So this is a very interesting thing, and we wanted to make Amma all the time happy. So there is a hammock planned above the kitchen. So the boy can read books, and Amma can cook below, literally below, and she can have a conversation. So she's always given company by the youngsters. So youngsters also get to know what are the concerns of mother. So unifying the family through informal architectural expressions. Yeah. And this picture on the right shows a glass floor. The grandpa was feeling lonely. He was saying, they all come for vacation, sir, but I don't get to see them. They are all inside the rooms. They are not coming and meeting me. So I don't know what is happening. So what we thought was grandpa's living room is below and there is a glass floor above. The children can play and you can see whatever they are doing. They are playing chess, they can be seen, or any other game they are playing, this connect. And every room in this picture on the right and the left also shows small gathering spaces in front of every room. A grandpa's room will have a gathering court, or a guest room will also have a gathering court. So people can come informally, even lie on the thin ice, and so that some dialogues can happen all the users of the house. So as we told, this is the traditional thing and how we are trying to interpret the traditional stuff. Now, in this case, the plan shows a kitchen, dining. They're all overlooking a pool. So from the kitchen, you can overlook the gym and the pool. And mother can see from the picture on the top right shows gym is placed next to that. Many of us try to do it in the top floor. So again, it creates gap between mother and father. Father goes to work out and mother is lonely. So whereas in this case, mother and father is connected, or the teen son who is doing the workouts, he can always continuously talk. Mother feels the guy wants a Bournvita or a hot chocolate, she can bring and have a dialogue continuously. And in some other cases, what we have done is one particular case, the madam of the house, she says, why we are all alone in the kitchen? Why others are watching television? Why they are having family gatherings nicely in the living spaces? Why not I participate in all that? So can you make a design wherein they can come and sit in the thinnai here and I can still cook, serve them food. Also, there's a TV in the opposite wall. The elders can be seated here watching the movie or whatever TV serial. She can also watch that from her cooking place. So very open thing. Now it's not like firewood kitchens where we will have a lot of fumes and all that. Today the kitchens have been very much modernized, and we need to combine the modern way of modern gadgetries with our traditional way of living. So she can also see the whole house from her kitchen. So kitchen, she can also look at the mezzanine, look at the dining, look at the entry, etc. There are some places what we have done is the children want to play in the pool. The pool becomes part of the kitchen. So next to that kitchen, it's very lively. She can switch on the water cascades whenever she feels bored. The children, when they are playing, they want to feel like eating. Mom gives them whatever necessary snack. So any interesting element of architecture can be incorporated beautifully in the house itself. Whatever problems coming out of that, we can solve with the interesting ways of detailing. So this is almost like a floating kitchen in water. We feel religion is very important. All faiths, now if you are doing a house for a Islamic gentleman, Qibla is most important. Although my Islamic clients, they will say, sir, we pray in bedroom itself. I'll tell them, if there is a nice place, will you not able to come? Or Imam, if he wants to come, can he not come to this beautiful place, prayer space? So this thing is to, in this case, there is a praying space with a multi-faith. And there is somebody wanted to pray Sai Baba, and it's the compound wall and the house. There is a space, and we have created. And every courtyard of that house, she wanted some religious symbols. So courts can be interesting place where meditation can be done, or praying things can be done. So architecturally, we can modify that to our new ways of living. And you have a Christian faith, the court in the middle is madam. She felt always lonely because husband goes very early. She wants to connect with the God. So it's a God's worship place with play of light. And she can also overlook garden. So get peace, all that. Yeah. This is a large multi-faith thing in a hospital. And we feel hospitals or education institutions also can be made extension of our cultural expressions. So we don't have to kind of take universalism as our way of life. we are from Tamil Nadu, and all our faiths can be beautifully addressed, and the children can be made to realize the value of our culture. This is another interesting aspect that I'm learning from tradition. We never had very narrow spaces for doing, morning activities. So here, how wonderfully they have done. There's a boiler inside somewhere. They can heat the thing, and a lot of sunlight coming in. They can change the dress. The bathing area itself becomes like a regenerating one. So it's not a dingy for 4.5 feet by 7 feet or 5 feet by 8.5 feet narrow thing with a small ventilator above. I don't know who brought the ventilator concept. Maybe initially when the modern sanitary things came into picture, so engineers were involved. Maybe at that point of time, it was built outside the house with a small provision for the Western WC with a small hole above, called as ventilator, but I think in the course of time it is not still changed. It needs to be really thing, and that's a place where everybody in the family, at least 15-20 minutes we spend. So if that can be made as a celebrated space, it will really regenerate them every day. Some of our attempts, so within the thing, and the elders would like to sit on the thinai and apply soap to the lower parts. Because standing, they may tend to fall, or the plastic stools are not good. They may they may fall down from that. So these are kind of a inbuilt thinais and inbuilt courtyards within the room itself. And some more where a lot of light can come in, and the toilets itself, bathing areas can be made refreshing. And in this attempt to Gopinath, what we have done is we have separated the bedroom, separated the toilet, because now I think getting attached to that is not a good way. So what we felt was a sun court was introduced in this. A lot of sun comes in, and there is a Buddha, lying Buddha. It was not installed at the time, now it's installed in the courtyard. So from bedroom, you can walk through the courtyard and come into this washroom. And in this case, it was used by a couple. They said, we don't require privacy once we close the bedroom door. I can see the activity. My wife is brushing, or we can have a chat. We are all busy professionals. We don't have time to catch up. So this way we get connected very easily. And in this case, in this washroom in the left, Amma wants to have an eye whether the baby, son, daughter taking a shower. She will come sit in the thinai, and she will tell all the hygienic aspects or the value of taking a good head shower, oil shower. And she may help her also, the baby also, young daughter also, to have a head shower, and then come and rest and teach all that. So within that itself, there is a small court. And the right is a washroom again filled with a lot of light, with a lot of sunlight on the shower side. So shower area is always very dry. We feel always the Panchabhutangal, 5 elements of nature should be addressed through our architecture. So one is water. We feel water is such a welcoming thing. And the minute you look at any water, you feel so happy. And in modern architecture, many expressions are, they put the portico in front. I always wonder why the portico is in the front of the house. I remember our elders did not have the bullock carts in front of the house. It is always kept at the side of the house or rear of the house. And we take pride in celebrating the metal horses or the metal cows or the bulls. So I feel the front belongs to the children of the house or the elders of the house. They should be able to come out, get connected with the street children, or connected with the other elders who are living in the nearby area. So water in the front area really brings good feel. And we feel when somebody enters house, they go through water body, not through a car. Really helps them to feel refreshed. So sometimes in the interior also we can look at. Now today, a lot of pumps have come. They add oxygen. There is no fungal growth. So technology is also growing. So we need to learn this technology and then incorporate in our architecture to make the spaces wonderful. Again, there's a ground floor. Parents are living in the left picture, and my clients are living above. So they feel going up is going to be a boring. But what we did is, thanks to our landscape architect, So a lot of cascade along the step itself. So when you go, the water cascades and recycled again. So whole thing is suspended. So you get an excitement of going. So water can bring a lot of newness. And similarly here, dining area around which is the water element. So we are going to have dine for only short while. That time they can switch on. Here, similarly here in the pictures, both sides near to the puja room with the koi pond. So puja is supposed to be a contemplative place. So water really soothes the inner feel, and cascade there really makes a good sound. And then people feel some sublime thing, and they feel they are almost connected to the heavenly deity or the god. So again, entries with water courts. So small sites in urban areas, but when some guests come, the koi pond here with a lot of lush greenery here gives them a feel that they are welcomed. So many a times people tend to show off in the living room. We feel, I think the front area itself can have thin ice like the elders. We don't have to take everybody in and entertain them. And again, thin ice on the front of the houses with water element. So elders can all the time come out and sit out, and then when grandson comes from school, they can have help, or when they want to, school bus is coming, they will go and drop them from the sitting here. So they become like a guardians of the house. And that kind of a thing was there. Now I think we have to reinvent and bring them. So inside courts, water courts, near to the kitchen, near to the dining, surrounded by all important spaces. So the seater around the water body becomes an evening gathering space for everyone. And pools in very small site, even 3/4 ground, 2,000 square feet houses, we do this, and it brings all the relatives. They feel like coming and using this because they can't afford to go to a 5-star hotel. So this becomes one of the unifying elements. We feel earth is again an important element. We can add in a very easy manner. There's not much money involved. So greenery really brings cheer to everybody. So when you are going up the stair, this also becomes a connector of from the first floor to the ground floor. So instead of just being a newspaper dumping place below the staircase, that can be also made interesting one. And the private areas for the children to hang out with the friends in the upper floors. And the left side is setback. The 5 feet setback is never wasted. What we do is do a green wall or a green wall with a lot of plants. The pergola is there, so thief can't come. So the side of the house, which we generally tend to take only the plumbing lines, becomes so useful. And again, the spaces, small setback spaces can be made interesting with lots of thin eye. The picture on the bottom left or in the second floor, it's called teen spaces. So they can come out, conduct parties, weekend gatherings, birthdays, all that can be done. And the picture on the left, right, and middle, this is a 1,400 square feet small house. After building a house of 700 square feet, 700 square feet is the setback area. So the setback area is made very well with garden. So the house itself almost extends through this garden into the compound wall. So whole 1,400 square feet is put into use. Again, wherever there is a nature tree, we feel nature is God, is like mother or our ancestors. So it should be kind of worshipped, not cut. So some of the projects where we try to make use of the trees or the plants which are existing and make use of them. In the case of Japanese, what they try and do is when they buy a site, they don't look at what is there in the site. They see all the neighbors' plants and the trees. So they will say if there is a yellow tree on one side of the neighbor having, and they will say, okay, he's not going to cut his yellow tree. Why not? I enjoy the tree also from my house. On the other side, something else is there. They also, so placing the room based on the site conditions and the natural situations will also enhance your design. Again, one tree in a 40/60 property, some years back we experimented. It was growing into our property and we didn't cut it. The roots were outside and we allowed the tree to go through, creating a double height space. So it becomes really a central space for the whole house. And you can see Srivatsan, one of the renowned professors from Trichy, now he's a professor at CEPT, is looking up. And the KSM, our architect from Chennai is looking up, and Mod Magesh is also there. So it became a learning thing for many of us. I always feel elders will be finding it difficult to go to street for walking. So today, some areas it's not safe. So what we have done is created a bamboo pergolas and have a reinforcement inside and the liquid concrete inside. So this becomes a walking stretch for the grandma. She can go all around the property. And similarly, we feel use of sustainable materials will also help our agriculture as well as our local craftsmen to get a lively thing. We feel everywhere, even the flooring is done with Namakkal stone. So what we feel is instead of going for Italian marble or any other thing from other places, we can use our own resources and give opportunity for our people. Generally, in the first floor, you have this located the first floor. You can see through the split opening here. That street is in the lower level. The opposite gate, you can see through the gap. You can see through the gap. So the balconies are generally placed on the front side as a pride element. But in today's context, our ladies wearing the nightgown, nightie, so they come out with the children, child carrying a child. But if she stands in the balcony, every eye on the street will look at her. And similarly, opposite house people will be looking at her. So balconies have become today, it's not so useful. So what we thought was, but we always love to see the street and whatever is happening. So we created a screen wall in the balcony itself. So you can see what is happening through this gap. At the same time, have privacy. Yes, gathering can be done very well. So these are the different side facades of the same balcony in a modified manner. So this is another series of houses where the green attempt has been done. Instead of the houses don't, if you go without trees or plants, the oxygen for the houses getting reduced. We feel as much as possible try to infuse nature. Similarly, now air and light is so important. This is a very low cost kind of a house wherein we couldn't afford to even plaster the walls. So, but then we use this bamboo coats to bring in a lot of light into this. So again, series of light bringing elements. I don't go into much detail. We will have more time for discussion. Again, in Jayalalitha Memorial, our Honorable Chief Minister, Sir Memorial, what we have done is a lot of this wonderful sun elements. So again, courtyards. So again, a series of elements which creates ventilators, ventilating effect, or the venturi effect in most of our places. So light comes in at the same time. This becomes a huge shaft wherein all the hot air can escape. Hot air can escape. So, okay. Again, in public buildings also, similar concept has been attempted. You can see a ventilator all around, and hot air can escape. Similarly, residences with hot air escape means. So, some other interesting courtyard. So, these traditional elements are making for us, it's challenging. So, we are learning how our elders have done it. So, that way, by following our 1,000-year wisdom, the whole architecture can be modified. That's what I'm trying to convey to younger people. Maybe my expressions may be a little outdated, but whereas you are so new and energetic, you can go for newer expressions, but still have the values of our tradition. Again, many places, this is the first floor, again court with a lot of streets to bring in light and then air. Again, courts. So, okay, now how traditional thoughts can change, make a drastic change in the way we can look at. There was a project which we were doing for a highway restaurant. Generally, highway restaurants are like a one box, a restaurant called a box, and then one box called the toilet. So they park the car, use the washroom, and then use the restaurant, and then go off. In this case, many a times what happens is the restaurants After 3 years, they get outdated. Somebody puts up another restaurant, people go to that. And after 3 years, that restaurant also gets outdated in terms of fashion and look, expression. So they move on to another. So this was going on, but we felt there are certain traditional elements which are there for thousands of years. Now, for example, now Sandai is one such element. Sandai, I think everybody in Tamil Nadu know about us. Maybe somebody from city or some other country, people may not know. Sandai is it's a gathering, happens once in a week. Now you see the aerial thing on the top. So you can see hundreds and hundreds of people gather. It is not every week, Thursday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, some particular day for one each village. They planned it such a way. So they gather. It means functioning successfully. Why our malls are failing? Why our restaurants are failing? We can take a cue from this. So what they try and do is they sit around a cluster, their group under a tree or something. So one person will be selling fish, another person will be selling some iron stuff, or somebody else may be selling, let us say, fancy goods. Somebody else may be selling. So one person comes in our modern day way of organizing any commercial activity will be if somebody puts up a textile showroom. Next will be another textile showroom. Next will be another textile showroom. Next will be another textile showroom. And similarly, restaurants, they put one restaurant next to another like that. So whereas here, when they do that, what happens is they bargain, or if they choose for the cheapest thing and they don't look for the quality, and thereby the good people also perish. In this case, each person is different, so diversified. Whoever wants to come buy, they'll buy a fish. Next to that, there may be a mango. Next to that, there may be a fancy thing. So when they buy the fish, they will know Mama loves mangai, mamlam, or the child likes mamlam. They'll buy some mamlams or some fancy things for the daughter. So everybody gets benefited. So this way, what we thought was, we will also organize the restaurant in such a way. There will be one tea shop, there will be one ATM facility, there will be one, let us say, a normal petty shop kind of a thing, and a fancy restaurant. So all of them, if they're together, there won't be any failure. And for the last 7-8 years, it's been very functioning successfully. And they have put up almost another 6 restaurants in the same name. So my feel is learning can happen from traditional stuff. So we need to look at that. Similarly, when we are doing for public buildings and large scale projects, we feel normal people are getting disconnected. Let us say in the case of a hospital, we feel Kuppan or Muniyamma or Muniyandi, they don't feel like coming in. In fact, if you look at lower middle income, hardly anybody comes to a medical hospital for treatment or even identifying a disease. They feel hospitals are very far expensive people only. So they shy away. So in this case, we were asked to design a hospital for elderly people and also people who are nobody and people who belong to the lower category, lower income category. Sorry to use the word lower income category. Papa Vidyagar is a noble soul who does even service for all this puga. And in this case, what we felt was how this hospital can function successfully. So many a time hospitals are, almost like Western thing. Now, if you talk about department, they will talk about radiology, they will talk about operation theater, they will talk about OPD. Everything has got a Western connotation. But we want to learn from a tradition, how people moved such a huge campus, Madurai campus, how they were able to move around a big campus without losing their path. So they had a lot of courtyards. For example, now the Lily Pond is there. People can identify. Maybe there is a mandapam. Around the mandapam, activities can happen. So they created visual elements around which a lot of activities are happening. In this case, also we felt the hospital should be very humane, using exposed concrete. So very inviting, low slang, not big fancy cars. Cars should be thrown out like the way the bullock carts are pushed out. So there is no scene of car. So welcomed by a water body, and then they enter, and even the entry is very humane. So now you can see the person lungi casually walking, and the amma there with the casual middle income, low middle income, using it effectively. Once you come, there is a water and there is a statue of Sai Baba, and the whole area is not threatening. And we also created a place for the poor or the low income. So when they are anybody, so when they come, they'll be shy to enter. Maybe the son will come from factory, mother will be coming from the residential area. Mom and the children can wait in the people's court. We created a new element called people's court. They will hang out. The son can park the scooter in the parking lot. He will come, Amma, வந்துட்டீங்களா உள்ள போலாமா இல்லப்பா கொஞ்சம் மயக்கமா இருக்கு கொஞ்சம் ஒரு தண்ணி கொடு நான் குடிச்சுக்கிறேன் ஒரு இளைப்பாற இடம் மாதிரி ஒன்று பண்ணிருக்கோம். So அந்த இளைப்பாற இடத்துல இருந்து then from there you go into the hospital. So there is hardly in most of the public places, there is no place for people. It becomes like a chain of activity. You enter, you register, you go there, and it becomes so heavy. Whereas Louis Kahn used to say, whenever you put up a building, create a room for no purpose. That no purpose is a room which orients. The elderly mother may have that hospital document inside in some funny manner. She will be hiding it. She needs time for to take it out, or she wants to take out the water bottle and drink water and rest for some time before, because once she gets in, she knows for 2.5 hours they will do all kinds of tests and she may forget to take her pill or something. So there has to be in the school also, the child needs to orient. It comes from school bus. It doesn't want to go to the classroom. So it wants to, kind of get courage, not courage. It wants to prepare. So there has to be less conscious. There has to be a space. Each of us, like before we enter a teaching thing also, we prepare ourselves. Or if somebody wants to go to an interview, there is a pause space is required. So this kind of space is essential. It's no purpose, no space, but it helps the people to feel fresh about it. Now, what we did in this hospital is we didn't have too many names. What we created is colored courtyards of varying kinds. So people can say, manja coat irukku parunga, manja color ஒரு பெயிண்ட் அடிச்சிருப்பாங்க அங்க போங்க, அல்லது ப்ளூ கலரா இருக்கிற தரையை பிடிச்சிட்டு போங்க. So உள்ள வந்த உடனே not formal, so it's very informal, casual seating. So it doesn't feel like a hospital, it's more like a park. And again, color coding right from the entry. So entries are not crowded, very sparse, with lot of seating everywhere. So outside seating also, so no much crowd. And these are some of the inner portions of the hospital. Now, one of the residents where we have done a lot of things, so I just wanted to show. So here, exposed brickwork in a traditional material used in a contemporary manner, so that the future generation also gets connected to the project. Whereas the elders, they are from Kerala, settled in Coimbatore, they are very orthodox, they like to have greenery all around. And in this case, what we have done is the entry itself, again, divide of car, natural pathway leading to the entry, and inside one large, like a central courtyard, but the living room itself forming the center and lots of rooms around it. And the light coming through this to every part of the house. Within the house, this is a 3,000 square feet house only, not a massive house. So again, courtyards, tree growing inside the house, and a pool next to the kitchen, next to the dining, next to the gym. So in the middle of the house, so the pool becomes our ulvasal or courtyard or mutram, around which all the activities take place. Different places from where you can look at. It's a giant family house, fairly more number of people are living, and a puja room. We also have modern material incorporated in the project itself, because mommy is cooking in the below, so the son or daughter may be studying in the upper area, so the lounge. From there, they can see through the glass floor what mama is doing, whether she's agitated, angry, or upset. They'll go and get connected themselves. Now, recently there was a group of friends wanted to build houses for themselves, 6 friends. They came to me and said, "Sir, எனக்கு ஒரு dream house கட்டி கொடுங்க சார்" கேட்டாங்க. So I asked, "Sir, உங்க dream என்ன சார்னு கேட்டா, அவங்க ஒரு பேப்பர்ல டைப் அடிச்சு வச்சிருந்தாங்க. சார் 5 பெட்ரூம், அம்மாக்கு ஒரு பெட்ரூம், என் பையனுக்கு ஒரு பெட்ரூம், பொண்ணுக்கு ஒரு பெட்ரூம், கெஸ்ட்டுக்கு ஒரு பெட்ரூம், இதெல்லாம் எழுதியிருந்தாங்க. நான் கேட்டேன், இதுதான் உங்க ட்ரீமா அப்படின்னா. ஆமா சார், இதுதான் சார் ட்ரீம் அப்படின்னாங்க. நான் சொன்னேன், இதை வச்சு பண்ணவே முடியாது சார், இந்த வீடு கட்டவே முடியாது. அப்ப அவங்க கேட்டாங்க, ஏன் சார் கட்ட முடியாதுன்னாங்க. நான் சொன்னேன், இது உங்க ட்ரீம், உங்களோட அம்மாவோட ட்ரீம் இருக்கா அப்படின்னு கேட்டேன். சார், அம்மாவுக்கு தான் ஒரு ரூம் கொடுத்துருக்கோமே, அதுக்கு அது தவிர வேற என்ன சார் வேணும்னு கேட்டாங்க. I told I need to speak to your mother. Can I meet your mother? They were hesitant. Or can I meet your son and daughter? All these 6 people. So totaling up to maybe 25, 30 people I had to interview. Then they were hesitant, but then they allowed. I went and met the mom. Mom said, sir, he's my middle son. He's the only rich son. So he's been taking care of me for long. But the day I moved in, all my other sons and daughters are not coming to this house, sir. So once in a year, they come on one occasion pretending that they are wanting to see me. But then other times, even when they cross the town, they don't come in, sir. Because I think their relationship with my son's wife's relationship is not very nice. So they don't feel like coming. So I'm here for my livelihood, but I'm not getting connected to my other children. So how do we solve? I asked her, how do we solve this, madam? அவங்க சொன்னாங்க, சார் எனக்குன்னு ஒரு தனி வாசல் வச்சிருங்க சார். ஸோ நான் உள்ள சாப்பிட போறதுன்னா I will go get connected myself inside. But other times my relatives can come through my small entrance. I can have a small thinnai outside. I can have a mini pantry. So that way, any relative, poor relatives also come. They'll be able to see me and go without entering the main house. So house within a house is another new concept which is emerging. I feel now today we need grandparents to take care of the daughters, sons and daughters. Many of us are working. So in my case, my daughter literally needs me because her son has to be taken care by us because she's a doctor working all the time. So she drops the son, I take care of it, my wife take care of it. So in the future generation, I feel houses are going to be together living, but with a lot of privacy for each of them. So in this way, what we have done is, in the particular gated community, what we did is, we invited all the families together, a lot of chatting, a lot of screening, discussions about how, in this case, one child came and told, uncle, can you give me, not this boy, there's another, this girl. This girl asked me, what do you want, Kuti? She said, I want Amma. I was looking at the child and looking at others. Why? What is, whether mother is lost or not? And people around said, no, nothing serious, sir. She means something. You ask her more. I asked her, என்னம்மா வேணும், அம்மா வேணும்னு கேக்குறீங்க, அம்மா தான் இருக்காங்களே, என்ன பண்ணணும்? இல்ல அங்கிள், நான் அம்மாவை போய் பார்க்க போவேன் சமையல் ரூமுக்கு, ஸ்கூல் விட்டு வந்தேன்னா அம்மா சொல்லுவாங்க, இங்க ஒரே ஆயிலியா இருக்கு, இங்க ஒரே ஸ்மெல் இருக்கு, நீ நெடி இருக்கு, நீ போய் அங்க போய் உட்காரு, ஹால்ல போய் உட்காந்து படி அப்படிம்பாங்க. எனக்கு அம்மா கூட தான் இருக்கணும். ஸோ அப்ப என்ன பண்ணலாம் அங்கிள் அப்படின்னு. எனக்கு தெரியாதே, நீ சொல்லு அப்படின்னு. அப்ப அவ சொன்னா, அங்கிள் எனக்கு ஒரு சின்ன டேபிளும் சின்ன சேரும் கிச்சன்ல போட முடியுமா அப்படின்னு கேட்டாங்க. சரி குட்டி, நான் போட்டு தரேன், சின்ன டேபிள் சின்ன சேர் போட்டு கொடுத்துறேன், அப்ப நீ அம்மா கூட இருக்கலாம். சரி, இல்ல அங்கிள் ஒரு சின்ன டிவி இருந்தா பரவாயில்ல அப்படின்னா. So it struck me, see, today the life has become so interesting and complex. The baby wants to do homework, baby also wants amma, baby also wants TV. What is wrong with that? Is anything wrong? Everything is fine. But we architects need to understand this changing scenario, and we should look at, address it differently. So for example, now, in earlier years, the kitchen becomes center of everything. If somebody wants to eat, they have to go to the kitchen. Mummy will never put it in the dining table. Dining table was not at all there in villages. Everybody whoever wants, they go to the kitchen. Amma எனக்கு காஃபி போடுங்கன்னா அங்கே உட்காரணும், ஒரு கீழே தரையில உட்காந்துக்கலாம். அம்மா காஃபி, பாட்டி காஃபி போட்டு கொடுப்பாங்க. காஃபி குடிச்சிட்டே பேசணும். நீங்க சிட்டில என்ன பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கீங்க, என்ன வேலை நடக்குது, அது நடக்குது, இது நடக்குது. இல்லைன்னா பாட்டி விட மாட்டாங்க, கேள்வி கேட்டே இருப்பாங்க. ஸோ சாப்பாடு போடுறனாலும் அங்கதான் 5 பேருக்கு பாய் போடுவாங்க, தரையில உட்காந்து சாப்பிடுவோம். ஸோ கிச்சன் வாஸ் சோ பிரைமரி அண்ட் இம்பார்ட்டன்ட். த லேடிஸ் were treated with so much of thing. Now lady starts her day at 6 o'clock in the morning, taking the first milk packet. Right from the time her work starts, it gets closed around. All of you just think. When mothers in her profile, what time she closes her work. So are we so inhuman? We love whatever we are doing, and should we not care about our amma who is all the time at home? No way. Is there any vacation for her? Break? Nothing. And why we still punish her with a small space? Why we architects or engineers, why we punish her with a small space? So this needs to be really, thought out. So we have devised an area now. We don't call that space kitchen. We say mom's place. What we are now doing is a mom's place. Any guests who are coming, instead of sitting in the living room, we tell them sit in the mom's place. So it's not called a kitchen no more, because you have a cooking area, a very small cooking area. But then can you not put an island where the child can bring the laptop and do the homework? So mom also will know what the laptop is all about or what the child is working on. And the child working from the computer office, it will say, Mommy, this is what is happening in my office, this is what is happening in my school. So a lot of sharing takes place and mommy gets modernized. So in this case, we learned, now you see the picture below left, grandma, how intently she's looking at what the children are speaking. And grandpa also modifying himself. So this gave us a lot of opportunity to understand how co-living, can coexist beautifully. Now, in this case, one learning what we have done is, most of them like to sit in floor. It's Kangayam, it's in Tamil Nadu. Each one of them are entrepreneur. I think one person makes, I would say, about 15 crore a year, but she's sitting on the floor. These are the people who make so much of money, but they still value our traditional things. They say by sitting on the floor, their leg gets stretched out and they don't get knee pain in the ears. And similarly, washrooms, they prefer Indian way of using. And one particular person, she said, sir, we like to serve food and want to eat sitting on the floor. But you architects are not giving any modern way of doing this activity. So I went to Japan recently. I also did a lot of research earlier to that. Japanese still sit on the floor, but on a little raised platform. So the person who wants to eat sits on a small 1 feet raised platform and the yellow is parimarada, they put it on top. The mother's problem was when they are traditional way of serving, when somebody is sitting in the floor, the sari slips or the chudi top slips. So they are feeling shy to not to do that. So what we have done is raising the area where the food is served. So thereby they don't have to kneel so much. We are built in the project and photographs are not there. Sorry. So that way, traditional values we can incorporate in a modern manner, and this is the plan. And a lot of interaction again with everybody. What we have done is one entry, two. There are two entries. One entry with the thinnai for the elders. The other entry will be for the formal entry. So that way, now this will be the elders entry with the grandchildren using it as a multi-space, and the whole thing done in a park-like manner. So I had a video, but I didn't bring it. Okay, fine. These are again play spaces built around it, or உட்கார்ந்து பேசுறதுக்கு ஒரு amphitheater, all that. Within the house, you have thin ice and stuff like that. Okay, with this, I've come to my conclusion. Nandri, vanakkam. Thank you. 1 minute, you can share. I'll stop.
Sure.
Yeah. So you can get the feedback. Yeah.
Thank you very much for that very inspiring presentation, sir. And I think looking at this overview of your projects, you question each and every individual space and what it means for life to happen inside the building. So, and every building that you showed is unique in that aspect. So we have the question and answer session open for sir after this wonderful presentation. People who have questions, you can also type in the chat box and it can be picked up. But maybe I will start with the first question. And I think, sir, I think you question every convention that architecture has shown, like every space is questioned and thought well through, and nothing is taken for granted, starting from the entrance car park to the bathroom. And even the naming, I think you can't call it a bathroom, but it's a room in itself, right? So,
Yes.
and like you showed in the last project, which, and I suppose all this comes from this very close interaction with your clients. And like you showed in the last project, this where you have this meeting discussions. How much time do you actually spend interacting with client? One thing is at the beginning of project, yes, but also as you start developing the project, show them 3D, show them plans. I think the discussions will only keep increasing, especially when the project is also getting built. So how flexible and how much, like it's also in a way uncertain, right? Like you start building and then the client visits the site and certain things change because now they see the thing getting built. How flexible would
Yeah.
architects have to be in that, and how do you deal with it? So,
Yeah. See, the plan making is known only to us. The plan making is our job. It is not the client's job. We are trying to communicate an idea. So the drawings have come some time back, and we are using that as a tool to communicate among ourselves. And they have no absolutely. Suppose you go and ask your mother, show the plan. Although your mom is an architect's wife, but if you show the plan, she will not know much about it. Or you show it to a grandpa, என்னப்பா தம்பி படம் வரைஞ்சிருக்க, என்ன படம் அப்படிதான் கேட்பாரு. So what we try and do is, when we mark it at the site itself, there is a session. And when they see it on site, there will be a lot of reactions. They will begin to connect themselves to the neighbor's house also. Neighbors, ஐயோ சார் இங்க அவங்க வென்டிலேட்டர் வருதா, எனக்கு இந்த பக்கம் வேணாம் சார், கொஞ்சம் ஏதாவது மாத்தி கொடுக்க முடியுமா? So before we do the foundation, there is a single line powder marking, we call it. And there will be one session. In fact, what I do is I cannot do everything because so many projects will be happening. So right from the first meeting, the inquiry meeting, one junior architect will be identified. Or the trainee, sometimes trainee also will be there, junior architect, not the seniors. So I cannot afford a senior's valuable time because my meetings are, each meeting is about 5 hours. So before we start a pen or drawing, a sketch, we spend 25 hours. So thereby orienting themselves fully, showing different typologies, all the architectural elements. But they, 25 hours, they can't learn architecture. It's not possible. And the house they are going to build is about 1 crore or 2 crore. It's all the life savings. And during the process, the junior architect combined with the design architect visits the site and really well connected to the CEO, that's the mom and the dad. So they go through that every stage, they have to be with them. And recently, even my senior architect, Sitapati, has been with me for 10 years, and total experience of 17 years. So he says, sir, I want to go with the client, buy the flooring material. And one day is gone, didn't come back. Second day is gone, didn't come back. Third day is gone. Whereas I was calculating, a senior architect goes, all projects are almost not taken care. But the guy comes after 4th day, he comes. Sir, it had taken so much time, sir. Each person was curious about what is yellow marble, what is dirty yellow, what is quota, what is reverse quota. I have to go to literally 15 to 20 shops and show them, demonstrate, and then they form some opinion. So I think if you want to really do a good house, we should become part of the house. I think our architect team should become part of the house. Thereby, the architect also learns. It is not the clients are benefited. I think young architects, before they start the career, they should build one house. I always say, எவ்வளவு துண்டு வாங்கியிருக்கப்பா அப்படின்னு கேட்பேன். ஏன்னா ஒரு யங் ஆர்கிடெக்ட் வராருனாக்க 5 துண்டு வாங்கியிருந்தாருன்னா 5 துண்டோ 5 சட்டையோ வாங்கியிருந்தாருனாக்க 5 ஹவுஸ் கிளைண்ட்ஸ் ஆர் ஹாப்பின்னு அர்த்தம். So every client, once housewarming is there, they will say junior architect ஒரு விலையிருந்து ஏதாவது ஒன்று வாங்கி தருவாங்க, ஒரு ஷர்ட்டாவது வாங்கி தருவாங்க, இல்லை துண்டாவது போடுவாங்க, அல்ல ஒரு டம்ளர் போட்டு கொடுப்பாங்களா, இருக்கு வெள்ளி டம்ளர் கொடுப்பாங்க. ஸோ 5 பொருள் கிளைண்ட் கிட்ட வாங்கிட்டா யூ கேன் ஸ்டார்ட் யுவர் ப்ராக்டிஸ். ஸோ தட் வே சார், சாரி. ஸோ யூ ஹேவ் டு பி இன்வால்வ் டில் த எண்ட்.
So we have a question from one of the audience. It's from Kavita. So she asked,
the dean of the Periyar Maniamma University.
Yeah,
Sure.
So she asks, so we have cultural relevances and that can be implemented in these projects, but how do we also integrate it on large public projects and public spaces where we can learn from tradition and integrate it.
Yes.
And to add to that, I think also our city. So Aldo Van Eyck said, "City is a big house, and a house is a big city." So you demonstrated the houses as big cities, but how can our cities also learn from these, and how can we bring this to the public spaces?
Yes. No, there are two parts to this question. The first part I will address that, and second also will answer. First part is ma'am was asking how large scale projects incorporate our traditional values. See, there are great architects like Jeffrey Baba or our Devi Doshi sir or Korea sir for that matter. They almost gave their life to solve this equation. What they did was, now Jeffrey Baba, when he designed this Parliament House, he literally took the Tamil culture. So many elements of Tamil culture, you can see it in Jeffrey Baba's thing. So even our beloved Doshi sir, now IAM, he knows the student cannot learn in the classroom. Classroom, 7 hours, a child looking at the board, it's like a prison, how can, sorry. So in this classroom, 7 hours of so much of knowledge, I think somebody is speaking, mute. So 7 hours of intense classroom teachers by various teachers, 7 teachers, the child cannot comprehend. So what Doshi sir is doing is, in a classroom, the 45 minutes of lecture, they come out, there is an external classroom kind of an ambience. So there's a huge veranda where generally in a school, the children after the class, they run to the toilet for a washroom, and then after that they just come back. There is no way to restructure their mind or recollect or exchange of ideas with the classmates. So Doshi sir creates an ambience outside the classroom wherein you can sit there, talk, whatever the teacher has told is a kind of questioned, shared, and each of the aspects is okay. Then they come back for the next class. So there is a pause space. Every after 1 hour, there is a pause space. There is a pause architectural space. Charles Korea, you don't have to tell, every project office teaches that. So Kund, for example, KUND, Kund is our traditional temple tank kind of an area. In North India, for the step well, it was there. So they learn from that and they are incorporating. In fact, Madurai is a classical example. Whenever Doshi sir comes to Tamil Nadu, he will always go to Madurai. There is so much of learning. Srirangam also, there is so much of learning. So I think it is possible in large scale projects also. They demonstrated very, very well. When coming to the next part is a very complex thing. Even Kant says the same. A city is a larger house. So how do we do that? My feel is, I'm not an expert in town planning. My understanding and feel is, if a small neighborhood, if it can be treated like a house, like the way our elders did, like the way pole housing in Ahmedabad or Vadas in Mumbai. So they had groups of houses grouped around central places, forming a kind of a cluster kind of an arrangement in the neighborhood. That is possible, but my knowledge about city planning is very much limited, so I'm not able to answer that last part of this. Thank you. I'm not an authority on city planning. Yeah, thank you.
So any other questions? So maybe I'll ask the other one also, sir. So although so you do both residences, but also in public projects like the hospitals, that shows a very nice example. And also for young architects, and how involved should architects be in shaping the public built environment? Because we are shown spatial experiment manipulations, but how involved should we be in directing how our towns or neighborhoods are developed, even though we might not have big powers towards it, because we do when we get projects like that. But apart from that, how can we influence good city planning or neighborhood planning as such?
Okay. No, I'm not able to understand the question. Yeah.
No, sir. So we have projects, and
Yeah.
whenever we get good projects, we demonstrate our expertise.
Yeah,
But like you said, good neighborhoods sometimes are not within our hands, but we are also custodians of built environment. How
correct.
can we indirectly influence also what good built environment is? How do you change your
Yeah,
clients
good.
or
Yeah,
general public's
no,
opinion?
yeah,
Because since
yeah,
it's World Architecture Day,
yeah. Good, good. No, this is a very interesting question. Now, when we design let us say a house, or when we design a school, or when we design a hospital, we know the stakeholders. We know the stakeholders, and we engage with them in a long conversation with the lot of question and answer session. We understand the complex equations of how they are able to use or what their needs are. But when it comes to any larger, let's say, neighborhood planning or anything to do with the city calls people for a dialogue, but it's a namesake kind of a dialogue. So it is not intense. I think they should form, let us say, if there are, but now in Trichy, now you are doing smart cities. Now, so many projects you are doing. So in this case, I think each neighborhood, there will be at least 10 to 15 people who will be vocal. They'll be able to share their strong points very strongly. But those are not present in big dialogues. So only few people come from each neighborhood, and then they ask one or two questions, but that's not going to form a base for forming a large city related planning aspects. So now if you really want to do this, you have to start with the neighborhood, bring people who are concerned about neighborhood. I think city is a collection of neighborhoods or diversified other commercial and other activities. But city mainly population is, if you look at 80% of the city will be combining neighborhoods only. The problem of one neighborhood will be the problem of other neighborhood. Maybe some variations may be there. I think by having a very meaningful, long dialogues with not the city authorities calling for one big hall and conducting a meeting, that is of absolutely no use. I feel our younger architects or younger youth leaders should form neighborhood, take leaderships, and then do this kind of surveys, put forth, even not for any project or anything, even otherwise, like those are used to say, every architect should adopt a house in a neighborhood. The same way, an architect also should adopt a neighborhood. Our senior architect should adopt a neighborhood and understand the problems, put forth so that it becomes a basis for city planners to address the problems. This is what comes to my mind. Similarly, once you have the neighborhood data or everything in ready, now you have also industries leaders are there, commercial people, they are there. Their viewpoints are never taken into account. Now, let us say now we have so many textile showrooms are there, so many restaurants are there. Have we ever called them for discussion? Is there any way we understand their problems? Absolutely no. They are occupying some residential places as a converting themselves as commercial. But if you really ask them, they may come out with wonderful ideas. So we don't have any basis, knowledge basis to approach planning issues in Tamil Nadu. This is what I am probably. So we architects, even IIA can initiate this type of activity. Somebody understanding the neighborhood problem, somebody understanding the commercial activity problem, somebody understanding the education institution problems. Get that and then propose to the government. These are the real issues which are invading into our existence. Can we find think tanks and move forward? So that way, I think you will have a knowledge base for which the city authorities can work on. Right now, there is no feedback, literally no feedbacks.
I think this is actually a wonderful suggestion. Actually, expanding the scope of what an architect does, more like custodians of the built environment and the voices of people, and it also comes with education, educating or creating awareness.
Yes.
And I think this maybe we'll close the session with this last question,
Okay.
and it's related to this where architect Chakrabani asks, how can we include public landscape and vernacular architectural elements like you showed to create residential environments that actually engage with the community and natural surroundings. So there is also this aspect, not just of community building, but also natural environment, even though we do individual projects.
Yeah. So very, very interesting, very relevant question. See, when you describe this question, Christopher Alexander, the person who wrote the pattern language, comes to my mind. See, now you look at our public places, let's say the parks or the neighborhood, activity zones. Hardly any concern for the primary users. Let us say now, if child wants to use a park or if it wants to use a playground, it is so unsafe. The parks will become safe when there are many stakeholders are participating in the park activity. Now, when an elderly lady wants to go to a park, she walks around and there are few benches here and there. But the benches are not conducive for her to rest. It is in a curved shape. And she wants to lie down. She is becoming tired, fatigued. She's got diabetic. She wants to lean on, rest on. So that benches should be like a platform. Our ஆலமரத்து அடியில ஒரு திண்ணை இருக்கும் பாருங்க, ஒரு பெரிய இடம் இருக்கும். அதுல படுக்கறனா படுக்கலாம், 5 பேர் உட்கார்ந்து விளையாடலாம், செஸ் விளையாடலாம். So our exchange of ideas, discussions can happen under ஆலமரம். But those type of things are given away for some, today's park elements like a plastic bench, metal bench, and cement bench. They are not at all conducive. This may be conducive for sitting for 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 20 minutes. But the elderly person, when they go for a walk, 30, 40 minutes, they don't have the energy to come back. So my feel is, like the way Christopher Alexander says, we need to look at the user profile and user as a group collective. Now, 5 elders, when they join, what happens? 15 elders, when they join, what happens? Or 40 elders, when they are there. We can foster that. Similarly, when the child of 5 years goes to a public place, what happens? What happens if it's a 14-year-old boy with 10 of his friends go? So that kind of psychological study is needed. Madam said Aldo Van Eyck, who is an expert on child psychology. I think we need people like that. And among us, there are among architects who are so talented and so committed in solving society problems. They need to come in and combined with our landscape friends. So we can form a strong case for a child which wants to play. It can't go far away from the house. The city can convert the dump yard nearer to our house for the 5-year-olds, 5 year to 10 years. So we can say toddler park. So we can have elders park. So, or in some cases, we can combine toddler with elders so that there is an elders watching the child activity and helping them so that somebody doesn't steal the child, etc. So many aspects. So I feel the same psychological approach of the Aldo Van Eyck can be adopted when deciding this. And Christopher Alexander's way of creating spaces or elements for a combined activity can be incorporated in this. Thereby, our traditional Alamaram seaters come in the modern landscape concepts too. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Super, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I think this has really been giving a very different point of view on architecture, and I hope everyone found it inspiring today. Now, I invite our architect K.K. Karthi, our Honorable Secretary of IIA Trichy Center, to deliver the word of thanks.
Good day, everyone. On behalf of IIA Tiruchirappalli Center, very hearty thanks to everyone here for gracing this interactive webinar, Architecture for All. I extend my hearty gratitude to our guest speaker, Architect Murali Murugan sir, Murali Architects Chennai, for an inspiring presentation and much informative learning from traditional steps and all that. And I must say this, sir, my first hospital case study was Lotus Hospital, E-Road, and I was in Satyabama. So since then, I am actually connected with Murali, sir. And thank you, sir. Thank you for accepting our invitation in very short notice. My sincere thanks to my fellow team, EC members, and office bearers who made this happen today. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
And happy World Architecture Day. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for everything.
Thank you. Bye, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us on this session. So with this, we close the meeting today. The recording will be available and the link will be shared. Thank you.
Thank you, Bala, Kapilan, Alvin, all the EC members, Karthik. Thank you so much, Madhu. Thank you so much, Madhu. And thank you, head of the department, Periyar Maniamman University. Jasmine ma'am, Dean, yes, Kavita ma'am. Thank you so much. I end the meeting. Thank you.